Everybody, welcome to Joefest 2025. We have the Bad Buddies Stoodios panel with Harvatine and
Thank you,
Seth
students.
Geen.
I hope everybody did their homework. Pop quiz, sports fans. How many people does it take to alert the fire marshal?
Harv wants to be over here. You want me to mess with the computer? Do you know how to work this computer? Are you sure? Hold on a second. We have 3 mics?
Feedback.
Don't cross the streets.
All right, here we go. If we cross these, though, this is already going to
Okay, so I thought we were doing.
AV problems. I feel like
We got some space in the middle
I
here.
feel like these chairs are shorter than everybody's perspective, so.
Oh, hi.
What's up, gang? Welcome to Joefest.
All right, this is a pretty good looking group. You were wrong.
I think I'm gonna spend a bit of time just like getting comfortable in these chairs. Is this a... So who's here for the first time? Oh, welcome. Who's here for the second or third time? There we are, guys. Good to see you again. My name is Seth Geen. This is John Harvatine, the fourth.
Hello.
We are co-owners of an animation and production studio in Los Angeles called Stoopid Studios. We make things like Robot Chicken and Crossing Swords. We made Titan Maximum and Supermansion, MODOK, a bunch of fun stuff. We have come here because Harv and I both love G.I. Joe. And we also love O-ring format and 4-inch and under action figures.
Yeah, this is our favorite destination of the year. We look forward to this. We serve it on the calendar, and it's a really big deal for us. So we're so excited to be here.
Harv is terribly shy and admittedly socially awkward.
Seth is also not shy. We're a little bit opposite.
Buddy, I'm the extrovert. But the things you should know about Harv is he is an incredible toy photographer. He actually has a photo in the contest downstairs based on a not so secret project that we have all been working on for a minute. You probably know, Matt, aren't you supposed to be on this panel?
Yeah, here it comes.
You know what, I'm gonna say.
Matt LeCroy, everybody.
Everybody knows Matt LeCroy. Hometown hero, G.I. Joe super maker. So I met Matt because of Strike Force. I bought all those figures through the Big Bag shop. And I was like, oh, look at this guy making brand new O-ring stuff. And we talked about this a bit because you've made such specific improvements to the format with the wrist, also the materials, soft but still very firm materials, so it all held its friction, the boots, the neck improvements. I was like, oh, this guy's doing good stuff. So we actually got together about a project that we're working on at SBS called the Cleanup Crew, which is, I like that we've already got fans. This is an animated pitch. We actually haven't even taken it out yet because we're still trying to look at the possibilities of private funding. Making TV these days is terrible. It's really not a lot of fun for creators right now. I'm not going to give you guys a lecture on corporate consumption or the end game of capitalism. Just to say that we're making our own stuff. And that's probably what we should start with, right? Like we have Cleanup Crew loaded up.
Yeah.
Okay, so we showed this last year. LeCroy built all the toys for it. It's pretty self-explanatory. This is a show that we're gonna make. What if we? Oh, do you guys want to see it?
Yeah.
It's only like 2.5 minutes long. So maybe what we do, we'll turn out these lights. Yeah, don't anybody get weird in the dark, all right? I know this is a borderline R-rated event, but there's still a lot of kids here, so be cool. Also, if your kids are in the audience, they're going to learn some new language. Be advised. Can you guys see all right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's play it then.
Okay, we're gonna do. Whoops, I moved it.
That doesn't add up. The victim is so boring. The most exciting thing about him is his framed poster of the band Train.
He's like if a band's clean came to life.
And yet someone was still angry enough to mail him a bomb. So, you hungry? Hope you brought your umbrella.
Fucking pigs, blue chunks all over the place.
They treat us like goddamn janitors, minus the job stability, pension, and health benefits.
Hey, my guys don't care about shit like health, Olivia. I offer better perks, like second dibs on any blood-stained appliances found at the crime scene. Speaking of which, dibs.
There's no blood on that computer, Dusty.
Guess we're gonna have to dispose of it now.
Wait, that sticker on the cover, it's a pair of novels. The victim must have been into NFTs.
Oh, aren't we all?
There's a lot of money in NFTs, and where there's money, there's motive.
We're not here to investigate a murder. We're here to clean one.
I don't see why we can't do both.
Because we're not being paid to do both. No clean, no green.
I hope you slip on the dick.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Sorry I'm late. I was drinking milk and I must have got lost in the milk.
Milk, that's creepy. Ugh, milk.
What's wrong with milk? I love milk.
Gross, you love milk?
I won't apologize for loving milk.
Stop saying milk. Hack attack, do you think you can get us into the victim's computer?
It's got a biometric lock. I can't get in without a fingerprint.
Take your pick.
Oh, looks like our guy was big in the nouns community. He been delegated over 50 of these little fellas.
Some sort of schoolhouse rock type of deal.
What proposals was the victim voting on?
Nouns community garden, outfitting 747s with wind resistant novels.
Wait, a few days before he died, the victim used his delegation to block a fork.
Man, Stevenson got to block the shit out of that.
Fucking arbitragers. The victim blew up their payday, so they blew him up.
You saying some cartoon cool guys killed him over cutlery?
Now all we have to do is find out who was behind the fork.
I thought you guys were here to clean.
We are. We just took a quick break to solve your case, barf boy.
Actually, my name's Kevin, and I threw up because I have Crohn's disease.
You're doing a great job, Kevin.
Yeah.
You bring those lights back up.
Yeah.
It was harder than we thought. 2 different switches. We blew a fuse. Somebody's plugged in the wall. So that's cleanup crew, and that's I don't know, guys. Like I said, it's getting less and less interesting to make things for conventional television. So we may even put this on YouTube. We'll see how that goes. But it's I don't know. We like the idea making a show like Robot Chicken. We just like the way certain things look on camera, and the idea of doing a show that's all this format of puppet without anybody on the show ever really talking about it, I think is very funny. And then you can use all of the inherent limitations of the format for comedic purposes, whether or not the characters themselves are ever aware. I just thought that was fun. What'd you thought? Did you have an easy time building those puppets for us?
No. And I had to do multiples of each character, which was very tricky, you know, with the Hawaiian shirt look on Dusty and everything like that. So I would bounce back with Seth and I'd be like, okay, I like Olivia, but make her eyes like a sparkly emerald green. And I'm like,
Brighter green.
okay.
Need to put that little glint in the top. Yeah, this hair is a little still. We need more clearance on the shoulders. Can't help but notice this jacket. You just gotta have more movement around that. There's all that kind of stuff. How different is that from regular custom? Do you ever get that many notes on commissions?
No. I mean, I've got some picky customers out there, but this was, I had to be on my A game the whole time.
Well, there's the requirements, and then you see how close up you literally see everything. But we like a little bit of that. Harv and I'll leave thumbprints on the faces of characters. Just because I don't know, you see it. Your eye when it sees a real photograph, it can tell the difference. We let some of those imperfections slide. Yeah. Do you want to talk about? Well, I'll tell you, but don't. Everybody's already recording it. Okay, so we made a sketch on Robot Chicken about a guy who joins G.I. Joe, and it doesn't go well for him. I think we have that sketch, right?
Could be right in here.
So what would probably work best is if we show this to you for context, and then we talk about what else was happening. Yeah, get these lights out. That's like weird. All right, here we go, guys.
Attention, Joes! I'd like to introduce you to our newest member, Calvin. Welcome to the team, Calvin. You can call me Gung-Ho.
Actually, I've never really been too crazy about Calvin, so if we could get to the codename part sooner rather than later.
Oh, will do. So what do we think, gang?
Well, as you can see, I like to wear black, and not to boast, but I was at the top of my sniper class at West Point, so maybe Deadeye, or how about Killshot? And you know what? I have a PhD, so it could be Dr. Killshot. Huh? Painting Dr. Killshot. Pow!
Looks like some of that in accent. Way to go, Fumbles.
That's perfect.
That settles it. Welcome to the team, Fumbles.
No. I'm an insanely talented sniper. I'm a doctor, for God's sake.
Did everyone hear that? It's Dr. Fumbles.
I think we should cancel our Who's Gonna the New Guy First contest. No, wait, not Fumbles. Come on, you can call me Sure Shot or Trigger Man.
Classic Fumbles there. Have fun, Joes. Cobra's on the move. Fumbles, I want this mess cleaned up by the time we get back.
No, I quit.
Welcome to Cobra, Calvin. You need a code name, and my, those are some fancy trousers you're wearing. I shall call you Trouser Snake.
I don't even care anymore. We're heading 3.8 miles southwest, mark velocity 7.8 kilometers per hour.
My God, I don't even hear the shots.
For the Lord of all that's holy, get behind it, James! I don't want to die.
Hey, Gung-Ho. Hold that dog. Fumble.
Make it stop. Is he gone?
You motherfucker! You killed everything I love! Take me too!
No, you live with it.
Great job, Trouser Snake.
It's Fumbles. It was always Fumbles.
So, as you can imagine, a very divisive sketch. But because we're into toys, we wound up having like a 2-year-long conversation with Hasbro about whether or not they were going to make a San Diego exclusive of Fumbles. Because we'd had some success with this. We did a Robot Chicken Masters of the Universe set with Mattel where we did Molar, the attorney and dentist. It's based on the sketch from Michael Lee and Black. And they made a set that had a Skeletor with a missing tooth. So we go to Hasbro, we're like, look at this. They did, 10,000 SKUs, San Diego, it's an exclusive, we signed them all. Look at this. And they're like, okay, maybe. Fumbles. And so they got as far as like mock-ups, like what the card would look like. And they were having meetings with them, and like one of their heads of whatever comes in, it's like, I felt like it was important to tell you this to your face, because it's gone on so long, we can't do this. And we're like, why not? And they go, well, your character's a murderer? Like arguably a serial killer. And we just really feel like the 5,000 or 10,000 SKUs, that limited goodwill amongst your super core fans who just couldn't justify the inevitable forever of protests we endure by having manufactured this assassin as a children's toy. I was like, I get that. That tracks. So then LeCroy was like, well, what if we just didn't tell him? I was like, well, you'd have to make less than 100, and we wouldn't be able to talk about it until after it's over. And then we could be like, oh, look at this bootleg. Wasn't that cool? And they might even send you a cease and desist, but you're like, I did.
It's over.
I did. Desisted. It's done. Sorry. Those are already sold. I don't have to go get them back, right? No, everybody's cool. So there exist about 40 of these things that Matt made. They're really awesome. Do we have one up here?
Yeah. Here they are.
So this is what you get from being overachievers. Overachievers, right? I thought we were gonna get an action figure. LeCroy calls me all through the year and he's like, I built him a glider. I'm like, what? It's like, we're doing a super pack with a glider. Oh yeah, we signed all of these too, just to, make it official.
So Anthony over here, my buddy, he did all the gliders. So
everybody knows Anthony. There's no one's anonymous at this con.
Yeah. So, yeah.
There was also one with a surfboard, but I think those all got sold out.
Those didn't last long.
Of course not.
So yeah, it shouldn't be up here. I don't know. It's crazy. But I do have a special gift for somebody. If Ed Schumacher's in here, Ed.
He's probably still running the booth. Oh, there he is!
Come on up, buddy. So Ed, you got the only one that we made that LeCroy made in the color orange here.
Oh, that's the exclusive one.
Thank you so much. And obviously a big round of applause for Ed. None of this happens without Ed. So thank you. Yeah.
We had to do a raffle. There has to be a lottery, guys. There's so few of these that not everybody can get one. And so what we've devised is some kind of ticketed system. Is that correct?
Yeah, so we have 40 of them. Everybody who is interested, raise your hand. We're gonna have to hand out tickets.
I think there's more than 40 just in here. All right, this is definitely gonna be a ticket thing.
Yeah. And after, if your number is called, you'll have to come down to our booth, number 19, and pick up your toy and give us money. I did want to say the back of the package, you'll find a lot of little Easter eggs me and Matt came up with here. The list of the...
See, this is another reason that Hasbro, they're like, well, he's literally got a kill list, and I
was avoiding that word, man.
I feel like these are bad ideas to...
Selected targets. Selected targets.
Selected targets. Oh, there we go. That's the Top Gun lingo.
I was going to go with those who had been fumbled. And this QR code on the back, everyone was super impressed by that for some reason. It's super easy technology. Anyway, it brings you right to the YouTube video.
Nice.
And yeah, that's it. Anyway, thank you guys for letting me help you out.
Of course. Thanks for I mean, we love monologuing, but we should probably just let you ask questions. People have questions? Does anybody have questions? Something you want to know? Something you want to hear about? Something you want to say? Oh my God, there's a straight up Chuckles back there. What's up, dude? Nobody cosplays Chuckles. I love seeing that.
So if you have a question, stand up so we can see who you are and we can address you that way.
I see her. Over there in the scarlet shirt. What's up?
Hey, what's going on again, Mr. Green?
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Well,
What's your name?
I'm Cody.
Cody.
We took a picture together last year because of the shirt, so I ordered him this year.
Oh, fantastic. That sounds like me.
Everybody likes to talk about their projects. What's your favorite cleanup crew character?
Well, I love Dusty, obviously. Super interested in him. It's very funny. What we've determined is there's things he's really good at, and then he's got the biggest blind spots of any action hero you've ever met. But we have a whole menagerie of people. The cleanup crew is going to be sort of like Mask, where you got Matt Tracker at the top of it, and then whatever the assignment is, he's like, I'm going to need Bruce Sato on this one, you know? It's going to be like that. So the cleanup crew is Dusty, Olivia, and then whoever else they bring in. There's all these different specialists, of course. Yeah, there's quite a bit of people that can't get other jobs that Dusty's like, I'll throw you a couple of bits. I'll throw you some dollars. You can run and bust down that wall. You can run through concrete, right? That's worth $25. Thank you. There's another, that fellow.
My Instagram name is Inhale Marks, and I like to do stop motion animation. I was wondering if you shot your figures of scale to make it easier to do stop motion animation.
No, part of it, but that definitely is like an option, making bigger puppets just so you can get better photography on them. But sometimes we really challenge the miniature team that we have to make stuff that's photographable. The main reason behind it is because you can make your sets infinitely smaller. And when you only have so much warehouse space to set up as many tabletops as you can, sometimes the scale of your set, you're backed into a corner. But especially with the Joe figures, we would try to shoot them as raw as possible, and I kept challenging our animators. You can see, even in the fumble skits, they're better at it, but the puppets still have all these big rigs, like they shattered them to make rigs inside of them. And I don't know, when we did the Cobra office, we just used raw figures and put like sticky wax in them, the whole position. I think it works better. It's funny, it's more funny visually when the characters are sort of aware of their own mobility limitations. I think that's fun. But there's what's the Recall, Operation Recall. I think they're going to release their 2-ups as well.
Another question? Sierra?
Yes, miss? What do you?
Harv, since you directed the entirety of Cleanup Crew, can you talk about what that was like?
Well, sure. Yeah.
What were the challenges you had doing while directing the cleanup crew?
Yeah, challenge. Well, you know, it's actually a little bit what you were just talking about. I also really love the smaller scale. I think it's really fun to shoot things that have limits and you can't necessarily go really big with them. So I think the challenge is having the animators work with just really small figures and having them emote. Is one little move and it just goes there and they have to pull it back. And so it kind of slows them down a little bit. Lighting is a little bit of a challenge too because the space is so small, so we got to get in there a little bit tighter. When we do Robot Chicken, the figures are much bigger. What's that? 8 inches? Yeah. So this is a smaller scale, but then like what Seth was saying, the sets are much bigger, or the sets are smaller, so we can expand a little bit, which is nice. So
you really pushed for cinematic lenses and lighting.
Yeah.
We were talking about making it look procedural. We all love stuff like CSI and very procedural shows.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, what if we shoot this with the lens flares? And
so the fun on it, yeah,
you see Dusty in his little ball head. And
it's a really dramatic background. Yeah. That's so the background's really dramatic, and then a lot of the blood kind of felt real. So with the characters that feel really silly. So that's the kind of contrast we're going for.
Did you find anything particularly challenging?
Well, I don't want to say the puppets were challenging because LeCroy made them, but
it was though.
No, they're challenging only because they're O-ring and they're really small. So I think working on such a small thing with the puppets is a little bit harder. But
all your tooling is strong. We didn't have all the O-ring, the hip system, everything stayed. Yeah, they hold their pose. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Any questions? Any other questions back there? Gentleman in the front.
How long from concept to filming it all to editing does a typical clip take?
It just depends, really. I mean, cause when we're working on Robot Chicken, we'll do 5 episodes at a time. So you're breaking like 80, 100 sketches at a time, and then you put them all up on stages, and they sort of take that amount of time. So it takes with Cleanup Crew. We started talking about this thing. It's at least 2 years ago. We started talking about it, taking pictures and stuff, and then we were already talking about it before Joefest last year. So how long is that? I don't know. It takes a while. It depends. It depends how ambitious your schedule really is. The shortest it takes like 6 months. That sounds about reasonable. 6 months, right?
and-
If we were really flying
Yeah.
and we had come on with the designs and the scripts and the boards and the record, we'd had 6 months by the time we're done.
Yeah, and then on stage, we probably were shooting it for maybe it was a month or so.
Yeah.
Because we do about 10 seconds a day on a good day.
So
per
even
animator.
at this particular iteration, we could say it was like 7, right from the time we started
Yeah,
building
that
this
sounds about
piece
right.
with an actual budget, it's about
Yeah.
7 months. That's fair.
That woman over there in the corner.
Hi, you have a really recognizable voice no matter what you do. Do you have any advice for someone who is trying to go into voice acting?
Don't quit. That's really the truth. Like, to be a good voice actor, you gotta start by being a good actor. So like, study acting a little bit. Make sure that you know how to emote genuinely without feeling like you're pushing. But voice acting professionally, it's just it's so everything is so hard to break into. But you know where I'm seeing a lot of success is people just doing their own stuff, right? So if you're on YouTube, if you're on the internet, gaining your own kind of do your thing. That's all anybody's looking for. That's the truth. Nobody's out there going, who can do the thing that's already being done, right? So I hear people pitch me voices that have already become popular, and I'm like, unless you're gonna try and pick up the legacy Bugs Bunny job, there's no reason for you to work this, unless it's helping you develop your own instrument. But there's, today, now more than ever, you showing people how you want to be seen is your best path. Because you show people and they'll either dig it or they won't. And that's kind of the hard rules of the game, is they're either going to dig it or they won't. You step out on stage, you're like, this is my thing. Some people are going to be like, I dig that. Somebody else will be like, you're terrible. Why did you do this? You know what I mean? And you got to be able to take both ends of that. That's my advice. Don't quit. Get out there and do your thing. Find people that want to do it too, and don't listen to anybody else that says you can't. Now look at me, I found these guys. I was like, let's make a show about action figures. And they're like, I'll help. Yeah, what's happening, man?
What happened with the Scott Evil character with Nirvana? Why did they make you change the shirt? Nirvana complained about
You talking about the McFarlane toys?
Yeah, Scott Evil shirt had.
I think that was pre. I think that, so we got clearance to use the shirt in the movie.
Right.
And I don't know if McFarlane signed whatever the deal was. I don't know if they sold the licensing, but they never intended to show like a crisp picture shirt. Right. But there's like 4 different variants on that toy because of the necklace. The first necklace had a gun, right, and they thought it was, somebody at McFarlane thought it was in bad taste to have the gun over a Kurt Cobain shirt. I wore it in the movie, guys, and I was the biggest advocate. They wanted to do a shirt in the movie. They had the dates, like his birth and death dates. I go, I'm never gonna wear this. I'm never gonna wear this. The kid who likes Nirvana is just wearing the Kurt shirt, and he's like, yeah, he's dead. Deal with it. He's not gonna. And then I don't know. The answer is I don't know. I'm sure it's some business affairs guy who's like shitting his pants after pressings of it went out, afraid that Courtney's gonna sue him. I don't know. Who knows? Nobody called me. But I have all the different versions of it. I still have too many of them in a box.
That gentleman right there.
I think the highest I've seen that go for is like $30 and it's autographed.
Was Fumbles the figure in the show? What was that? Frankenstein? Was that?
Yeah, we put this, was it the modern, it's like the 25th anniversary torpedo. I think he's repainted. And that was what they were pitching us at Hasbro too. They're like, oh, we got all this tooling already. I was like, great, let's do it. They're like, just the problem that this guy's a serial murderer. That does sound prohibitive.
This gentleman in the front in blue.
I've been bouncing back and forth between 2 questions. In honor of Fumbles, I'm just curious, if you guys were in G.I. Joe, what would your code names be? And what would you choose for your specialties? And you can't pick Fumbles.
No. The name is Small Fry. I've got a bunch of electrical charge and flame weapons. So I'm the cook, right? fights you've ever had? What do you got, buddy? What do you got? Why can't rhyme as good as Roadblock?
Oh man, I don't know. I guess it'd be nice to be like invisible or something like that. So maybe it's Casper, but spelled legally different. So I can get away
Like
with
your
it.
code name is Casper, but somehow you
Yeah.
got the mythical ability to become invisible.
Get a sheet on or something. You just disappear. You fly or
Oh, sure,
sneak
like
around
the
Cobra.
military blanket, the
Yeah, some
Harry
dirty
Potter
blanket.
blanket.
Yeah, and there's a smell to it, so it's not like perfect.
You're getting everybody less
A pea
interested.
smell.
Really, people were very behind you, and then as you start talking about
Okay, we'll stop there.
You're way off topic. I do like Casper though. That's fun. Casper and he's the
with a K.
infiltration guy.
Casper with a K.
My code name is Scorched Luau. The rest is classified.
I heard he buried a man and cooked him underground.
Gentlemen, I'm gonna black out. Two things. One, the giraffe bit.
Yeah.
Is one of the most unironically funny things I have ever seen.
Thanks, man.
You are a genius.
Tell all your friends.
Growing up, watching Family, I probably should have been. Chris Griffin.
How old are you now?
18. Chris Griffin is what I thought the epitome of a teenager should be.
Sure.
And so I kind of based my life around that.
Uh-oh. You should not take advice from that character.
Satire?
What?
I figured out it was mostly satire.
Right. Well, you're 18. That's when you start discovering that stuff.
It's an honor to meet you, and I love what you do.
Thanks, buddy.
Don't listen to anything that I ever said. Don't emulate anything I ever did. Keep your girlfriend, your sister wants you to know that that's not the safest linear pursuit. Uh-oh, she stole your hat. Wait, which one's older, which one's younger?
She just turned 21.
Turned 21. Okay, so we've been rotting your brain for longer. You got some catching up to do, homie.
Wait, you said you had two questions, that you were back and forth between two questions.
Oh, yeah.
What was the second question?
Second question was there ever a bit that you all pitched for Robot Chicken where standards and practices said, no, this is just too much? Probably can't.
It was never like, this is too much. The only time that, and it was never SMP, it was always Lazo. He'd be like, this isn't funny.
Okay.
It's not funny. And we're like, yeah, all right, you're right.
So I should also tell you, the Black Stallion skit.
Yeah.
I quote that one at work all the time, and my coworkers love it because I use the most. I'm a web designer, and one time they were talking about, okay, we're doing this new site, and I feel like we need to go with something brighter because these dark colors just aren't working. Racist.
What do you mean these dark colors ain't working? That's my old buddy Eugene. Eugene Bird did that voice the best, kid.
I'm gonna go way back there. Gentlemen in the teal shirt.
Don't let anybody miscolor you. I put that at aqua. Good, how you doing? All right.
That was one question. Detours. Are we gonna see any more detours? See detours at all?
Nah.
Okay.
That's a short answer.
I mean, this is probably the truth. So, what even year was that? 2009. So, 2009, my partner Matt Senresh and I had spent about 4 years developing a half-hour animated comedy series based in the Star Wars universe with George Lucas around the same time that the Clone Wars cartoon was finishing up. And the plan was, but you just have to understand, George Lucas, everything that you've ever seen from Star Wars, George Lucas paid for. So like at some point, Yeah, he got to keep all the money that they made, but he paid for it. So at some point, he's like, all right, what is that? That's 5, 16. Right, there's $40 million. Just do this. And so that's what he did until he sold the company to Disney for $4 billion and was also able to participate in all of their rapidly growing and accumulating stock profile because it became Disney stock. Disney purchased everything, Marvel, Fox, Studios included. So George is very smart, made a ton of money in his life. But he wanted to do something funny. He was like, they hadn't made this decision to sell the studio, they hadn't made the decision to make new movies. He was like, let's just do this. And so we did. And then we didn't sell it to anybody. We were talking about, oh, maybe it goes to Fox, maybe it's Cartoon Network. And then he was like, never sell this company. Let's just make more movies. So that's the answer. Everything that we really did, sort of the same with the Underworld project. They developed an hour-long show. They wrote 62 scripts for it. They didn't have episodes produced like we did. We had 39 broadcast finished episodes. There's like 60-some animatics. There was a couple of episodes that were pretty far along that just never get finished. And that's kind of what it is. All of the creative got folded into a lot of what's become the Lego Star Wars. So like, and you sort of understand it, right? The conversation I was lucky enough to have with Kathleen Kennedy, because she was the steward of the brand moving into the Disney purchase. And we were talking about what you do in the interim before there's new Star Wars, right? So this is the period of time, 3 full years before Force Awakens is gonna come out. And she's like, we could put out this deconstructive animated series which showcases all of these characters in this novel light through a parodic lens. Or we can let kids be introduced to the specter of Darth Vader in 3 years, looming as large as the fall of Stalin, right? And it's hard to think about Darth Vader being Hitler when you've got him anticing on roller skates in a Life Day sweater. So, you get it. You get it. It's kind of just where it went. And I doubt it. I really doubt that it'll get released. Just because it feels out of place. Like everything that we did was all meant, it's all designed to be perennial. But a lot of the jokes that we made then have been made now in other shapes. Like because of the timeline where the show takes place, we had Leia as like a 13-year-old, and she's a nightmare. She's famous, she's got so much money, she's constantly making Bail Organa suffer for it. You're not my real dad. She's got decoys, all the decoys, they're terrible. We had her like somewhere between Paris Hilton and Lindsay Lohan in the show. And I could see it. There was something Kathy wasn't telling me. And I figured it out when I saw the Obi-Wan show. I'm like, oh, you got 13-year-old Leia in here. And if we had spent the last 3 years with her being like, this Obi-Wan guy is kind of a creep. It wouldn't have worked as well. So I think that's really it. I just think and also there's almost too much pressure on it, right? Because this is the last TV that George is personally responsible for creating. And I just think there's too much pressure on the release of it for them to want to have that be the thing. I don't know. I'm not in there at that level, guys. I luckily am not saddled with those major high-level multinational supercorp decisions that affect everything from pharmaceuticals to electronics. I'm just making these TV things.
Seth, a quick question. Did George like it? Was he a fan of it, or did he hate it?
Yeah, one of my greatest honors is that we spent the last 4 years of that guy's professional career making him laugh every day. Yeah. So if nobody ever sees the show, guys, you cannot take away the fulfillment of one of my greatest childhood dreams.
Gentlemen, way back there in the blue shirt. You, yes.
I was going to ask about detours, but instead I want to ask, how does it come about approaching George? But if you want to film you just going off on Mara Jade, how's that
Oh my God. This is the great. So you might not. There's a clip on YouTube of George Lucas triple smacking writer Zeb Wells across the face. Zeb Wells, you might know as the third credited director of Deadpool Wolverine. No big deal. When I say that we assembled an all-star crew to write that show, we really did. Like, there was a lot of very smart, talented people in that room. So, for like 3 straight years, about 3 times a year, we would have 2-week conferences up at Skywalker Ranch, and we would spend all that time working with George and breaking these episodes. And then we would all go away and write the scripts, to look over the scripts, but we had those 2 weeks of just ideating. And the first time we did it, I was like, hey George, everybody wants to take a picture with you. And he's like, all right. So we all go outside on a veranda and we look like a soccer team. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna get down like this and at least make this picture interesting. And so the next cycle comes through, I'm like, George, everybody wants to take a picture. And he's like, all right, well, you know the drill. Go out by the fountain. Everybody's like, picture. And I was like, well, I'm gonna get down here like we just won the championship. And so the next cycle comes around, and I go, George, listen, everybody, the first day, I go, George, everybody's gonna wanna take a picture with you at the end. And he's like, now here's my pitch. Instead of one picture at the end with everybody, let's take one solo picture a day with each one of these writers so that they can pick a pose. How do you feel about that? He's like, yeah. This is what I discovered about George. You gotta ask him. You gotta ask him shit. Everybody's terrified, and he doesn't want to know, like, what are you with this Kyber crystal? Was it different? You just can't. He don't want to talk about any of that. But if you're like, hey man, can we do a pose like we're Kennedy looking out the window, like? And he's like, yeah, I'll start. We wanted to. This is how cool he is. We wanted to. One of my buddies is like, I want to take a picture with you like we're playing chess, and then he goes, well, come upstairs. Takes us up to his office, where he has the actual dejeric table from the movie, all the original stop-mo puppets on it. I got a picture of him and my buddy just like they're both playing it. So that's how that happened. We would just ask him stuff, and then we started having a conversation about like, who's in the show? Who's in the show? Who do we put in the show? Like, which point in the timeline is this? Who's in the show? We're like, well, you know, Luke's got that girlfriend. And George is like, Luke Skywalker doesn't have a girlfriend. Like, but no, the EU, the whole Mara Jade thing. He goes, no, that's not real. And I was like, what are you talking about? Isn't that? And he goes, this is a Jedi. No attachments. No attachments. No Jedi has attachments. Luke doesn't get married. That's just not real. And I was like, so you think that Luke never evolves beyond that idea? He always adheres to this old, very didactic sort of theology. And he's like, at least in the way he lives. This is not direct quotes, it's like 10 years ago, but it was really like, that's just not a thing. Luke Skywalker's a Jedi, remains a Jedi, he's not gonna get married. He's not gonna get married, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? And so then we were like, can we do a bit? Can we do a bit? Can we just have this guy? Will you just yell Zeb out of the room? Yell him out of the room, and he's like, yeah, all right. So then we shot this bit, and we get it right, and nobody expected the slap. That's what's so great about it. You see me almost fucking break. I'm like, oh my God. I turn away from camera, I'm like, sorry, George, I don't know how that. Because Zeb gets in there, and he just triple smacks him, because so fast, too. The man is fast. And Zeb shoves him out the door, the electric door closes. It's the best. I love that stuff. You know why I'm most proud of those kinds of things? Because I've had a generation of kids tell me that they figured out that George Lucas has a sense of humor, right? The way he's presented is so beyond, like he's not a real man, like he doesn't laugh at stuff, he doesn't have a pair of house slippers or something. And we love getting to show that, getting him to play, celebrate all this stuff the same way. It's just overwhelming, right? It's very hard to relate to the idea of being a single individual was like as iconic as George. And I had this realization like that, because I'd met him like 7 times before he ever remembered, and I figured out that I had to make a better approach. Because every time I approached him, I was like, "Will you sign the brim of my hat?" We were never gonna talk. He wasn't trying to talk to me. So, but that's how that happened. We just had him alone for years. And eventually we wore him down and got him to do very silly things with us.
So we don't have much time left. I'll ask one more question. Who wants the last question? All right, we got the last one.
In the back there? Oh wait, in the front? It looks like there's gonna be 2 questions. Who's in the back? What do you got?
2 young ladies back there, go ahead.
Hope so. Hope so. It's one of the proudest things I've ever done. I've loved that character my entire life. Never even fantasized that I'd get to play it. It's the best. I love it. Yeah, love you too, sweetheart. When you get home, do your homework or whatever.
So I think that's going to be it for...
Oh, wait, I fucked this guy out of his
Was there any role that you were offered and you turned down and you later regretted?
Regretted? No. No, I turned down all kinds of stuff. You gotta make your own career.
I remember since my stepmother's an alien, so I've been following her career for a while.
My stepmother's an alien. I auditioned for that. This is the truth. How few things I get offered. That's the other thing. Don't expect an offer. Go in there and audition, because they don't know what you can do. They're like, I think you do this. You're like, fuck you, I do this. Right on, gang. What are we gonna do? We have a plan. We're gonna throw these gliders off the stairs. This guy's got something. What?
No, here's one.
Oh, the gliders. Oh, the tickets. Did everybody get tickets? Let's do it. How do we do the tickets?
You just stand here and pass them out.
So we're just vamping in the meantime? Oh, I see. This makes a plan. All right, we're gonna sneak out and get onto that platform where you can throw these gliders off of the thing. Thank you all for coming. Really appreciate the opportunity to gather with other enthusiasts. We'll see you next Joefest, or we'll see you on the floor.